Hey everybody, Alan Weber here from the Mayor's Office on a cloudy Monday afternoon. Welcome back after a weekend that I hope was quiet and peaceful and filled with some family time and a little bit of downtime, a little recreation and a little fun. Let's start with some numbers. 79. We had one case yesterday, 2 cases on Saturday, 0 deaths in Santa Fe County, but the state continues to have an increase in positive cases and an increase, sadly, in people who are dying from the coronavirus. So we can't relax our effort. Here in Santa Fe County, we are doing very well. It's not even all across the city and the county. If you look at the zip codes, some parts of the city are clamping down harder than others. So this goes out to everybody in Santa Fe. Please, if you go out, wear a mask. I was lucky enough to get a designer mask on Friday, and I washed it and I wear it. So if you go out, wear a mask. Only go out to do essential errands, shop for food, go to the doctor's, get your pharmaceutical needs met. Other than that, stay home. If you need some exercise, do it safely. 6 feet distance, wearing a mask, being respectful, being polite, keeping apart from others. And wash your hands, use hand sanitizer. If you can't wash your hands, you can put some of this on, rub it in. Keep yourself safe. We want to continue to drive down public health emergency and win the battle with the coronavirus, demonstrate that as a city, as a community, we are going to stay safe, we're going to stay healthy, we're going to stay home. Meanwhile, the city continues to do business as best we can under these extraordinary circumstances. I talked to our land use director today. In the last, since the end of March, the land use department has processed 360 e-permits. That means they're doing business without face-to-face contact, trying to keep everybody safe, both the workers for the city and people who are looking to get their permits, because the governor said construction is an essential activity. We want to see those jobs continue. We want to see that work continue. 360 e-permits processed, 160 already issued, 190 still under review and should be issued in the next week or so. We've stood up an e-government. We're working hard to continue to deliver services to the best of our ability with the resources we've got. The challenge, of course, is with the resources we've got. So let me give you a quick briefing on the situation as it pertains to the city's financial condition. Our number one priority, of course, is to break the back of the coronavirus, to keep everybody in our community safe, healthy, as much as possible at home. But if you look around the city, it doesn't take a lot to see that our hotels have been closed, our restaurants are operating as a shadow of what they used to do. Our major summer markets have, for the most part, been canceled. Our movie theaters are shuttered. Shops and stores are no longer open for business. And that means that the city government, which depends on gross receipts tax for our revenue, is severely impacted. We don't have great data. Our data comes to us from the state and it's 2 months behind. So we're only now learning what the data were for our gross receipts tax 2 months ago. We're flying a little bit blind into a storm. We know this. Our financial team has estimated that between now and the end of this fiscal year, which closes out at the end of June, the city of Santa Fe faces a budget shortfall of $14 million in our general fund, and all funds taken together, about $46 million shortfall. Now, that's an estimate. It probably won't get any better. It could potentially get worse because we don't really have hard data, and we won't get any in the near term. So we've got to make some decisions now in order to balance our budget by the end of June. There are some things we're doing. I'm introducing a resolution through the City Council seeking direct federal aid for cities Santa Fe's size and smaller. Right now, federal government has said they'll help cities 500,000 population and higher, but not cities like Santa Fe. So we're out in the cold. Now, Congressman Ben Ray Lujan has introduced a measure to bring much needed aid to us and to other cities, and we support that wholeheartedly. We appreciate the Congressman's effort to get in front of this. We deserve help. We need help. This is a national emergency. It doesn't affect cities only 500,000 and over. It affects everybody. So we are looking for federal help. We're looking for help from the state. They've been collecting money from internet sales. We'd like to get that money back to us as soon as possible. But that's not going to get it done. We're going to have to make cuts. We're going to have to tighten our belt. We're going to have to become much more efficient, and we're going to have to make some hard decisions. A deficit of $14 million in the general fund, a deficit of $46 million in all of our funds is a large number for the city to deal with in a very short period of time. We've only got a matter of 5 or 6 weeks to get this done. Meanwhile, we'll have to put together our budget for next fiscal year. Here again, there will be reduced revenue. So we are freezing all non-essential expenditures, including contracts, travel, business supplies. Anything we can cut that is not essential, we'll either defer it, delay it, or get rid of it. We've got to reduce our spending dramatically in all of these areas. We're going to impose a temporary hiring freeze on non-essential positions for the city government. What is essential? Our priorities are very clear. Number one, public health and public safety during a public health emergency. Secondly, deliver as many and as good high-quality services as we can with our dramatically reduced revenues. And third, position ourselves so that we can rebound once the economy starts to come back. So we start out by responding to the coronavirus, rebalancing our delivery of services, and then rebounding once the economy starts to return. We're looking at personnel issues, and this is where it gets really hard. We're not just talking about money, we're talking about people's lives, we're talking about families, we're talking about the heart and soul of Santa Fe and the people who live and work here. And these are the hardest decisions of all. There will be some people who have been working for us as temporary employees from whom we will simply have to separate. It may not come to fruition. For the rest of our workforce, union, non-union, and management, with the exception of public safety, which will be in a very different category, first responders, we're looking at sacrifice across the board. I myself am taking a 30% pay cut because I believe that it's my job to give back to the city where we can make a difference by sacrificing back to our general fund. At the same time, our city manager will take a pay cut. All of us at the level of managers and department heads will make a sacrifice in a pay cut. We hope it'll only be temporary, but will make a difference. At the same time, we're going to have to reduce the hours of some of our employees in different categories and ask them to sacrifice as well, because so much of our budget is in salaries and benefits. 70% of our revenues are from gross receipts tax. A little bit less than that is in salaries and benefits. What the city does is to provide services through all of those hardworking, devoted, committed employees, and that's where our budget is. So going forward, we're going to have to shrink our expenditures every place we can and try to find revenues any other place we can. Fortunately, over the last 2 years, we've increased our emergency dollars, our rainy day fund. When I became mayor, the rainy day fund stood at only $6 million. Now it's close to $14 million, but we've got got to keep that money in reserve as well, since we don't really know how deep and how long this economic crisis will continue. We're hoping for help from the feds, from the state. We're hoping for other sources of revenue wherever we can find them, but we've got to be realistic. We've got to face the brutal facts of life. There is nothing that we can do in the next 2 months that will change what we're experiencing right now. And that is a significant, serious financial crisis following on the heels of this unprecedented public health emergency. There is a meeting of the Finance Committee tonight to look at all of those matters and those opportunities to reduce our expenditures and balance our budget. The Finance Committee will also be looking at a report from our health benefits consultant to see going forward whether there's any way to make additional savings there. We don't know until we look, but we are going to look everywhere as carefully, as thoughtfully, as humanely, as compassionately, as empathetically as we can. On the one hand, we've got to face the brutal facts of life. This is an unprecedented financial emergency. In 2007, 2008, when there was a recession, Santa Fe entered into it late and came out of it late, but it happened more gradually over a period of 2-3 years. Right now, we're in a free fall situation. We're in a matter of 2 months. We've fallen off a fiscal cliff and we're in free fall. And we cannot afford to stay in free fall. We have to rebalance, level off, and establish a new level of spending that we can sustain with a balanced budget. And once again, to be clear, it's going to take shared sacrifice from everyone. Managers will take a cut, union employees, non-union employees, people in all parts of the city are going to be asked to step up and make a temporary sacrifice. It's what we have to do right now. It's not fun. Believe me, it's not easy. This is the hard work. It's hard to stay home. It's hard not to have your kids go to school. It's hard to have to see your job go away for nothing you did wrong. It's hard to see the restaurants closing. It's hard to see the hotels dark. It's hard to see our summer markets and festivals going dark. But that's where we are right now. There's no sugarcoating the pill. I know that Santa Fe is resilient. I know that Santa Fe is strong. I know that Santa Fe is a city of compassion, empathy, love, and mutual care. We are all in this together. We are all working together. We're standing together. We're going to come through it together because that's the kind of place we live in. It's a place of history, of deep roots, of heart and soul and love. So let's take it as it comes, one day at a time. We're going to make it. There will be pain in the short term, and then there will be great resilience and joy and pride as we work our way through this unprecedented, double-barreled emergency of a public health crisis and now a fiscal crisis for the city. Thanks for watching. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. The most important thing is to stay home, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of the community. We're all in this together. We're all going to make it through this together. Thanks, and I'll see you tomorrow.